Well, Stephen, good to talk to you. A tough week, I think it's fair to say.
Yeah, difficult week, obviously. What happened down in Turner's Cross after the game, so it was a difficult week for myself and my family, and obviously young Josh. So yeah, time's a great healer and helps you see clearly, and thankfully now we're doing better.
I think everybody, not just in football, I think anybody who heard what happened is just utterly repulsed and probably in some disbelief, because I don't think anyone who knows right and wrong would ever imagine that people would say such a thing. And even just talking to your player, Sean Cavan, as he was saying, he's a kid, he's the same age. The admiration that actually somehow you managed to keep it together on the evening, and you spoke, I think, very passionately after the game. But I'm sure every inch of you wanted to hop over whatever fence was between you and them guys.
Yeah, it did. It makes you very angry and hurt, obviously. I think as a parent, and I'm no different to any parent in the country, your primal instinct is to protect your kids at all costs. And when you hear a sick kid getting attacked like that verbally, it's disgusting. And yeah, look, I think if there hadn't been a fence between us, anything could have happened, quite possibly. So yeah, a lot of anger at the time, a lot of hurt. But look, I can't change or affect what uneducated people like them want to say.
Cork City came out very quickly and unequivocally condemned what had happened. What are your thoughts on the response from Cork, from the FAI, from the authorities over the last week?
Cork as a whole, as a city, have been fantastic. So many of the fans have emailed the club, written letters to myself, or text me privately, and they've been brilliant, as the country as a whole has been. We've had politicians on, we've had people up and down the country from fans of every club contact me, so a massive thank you to them. We know that the game in this country is followed by brilliant people, and I know there's a small minority that you just can't change and won't change, and that's unfortunate. But the response from everyone, the Gardaí, the FAI, everyone involved has been brilliant.
You're obviously a very public figure, and this is played out on the papers, and I'd imagine when you finish that long journey back from Cork and you walk through the front door, that's not an easy place for you to be as a father, trying to explain something that's sort of unexplainable to your family.
Yeah, that was the worst part, to be honest. I was obviously hurt at the time and made me angry, but I was more thinking of my family and especially young Josh, how he explained that to him, and try and make sense of a few grown men, speaking like that about a sick kid, So that was the difficult bit, and thinking about that all the way home. And like you said, when you walk into the house that night, that was the hard bit for me, understanding that your duty as a parent is trying to protect him, and at that moment in time I couldn't protect him, and then you're trying to protect him after the aftermath of hearing that on the radio and on social media and just his friends talking, and that's difficult. But thankfully I've got a very clever, strong boy who takes a lot of things in his stride.
That's really good to hear, because you've gone through, and your family have gone through so many things that no family should have to go through, and that no family can ever really prepare for, and mentally prepare for. And for something like this, I can't think of any other example of something like this happening in Irish culture. And we've seen tragedy chanting and things like that over in English football for many years. That decision of, do you tell him, do you not, the way the world right now is, he probably finds out anyways, and explain that, listen, football is behind you, people are behind you, stay strong. Yeah,
I think that's the key, that there's so many good people that support sport and just in general up and down the country, and like I said, when you get the emails and the letters and the texts, I think that's quite reassuring, and you can show him that and tell him that the vast majority of people are good people, and you'll always get these thugs and that will feel they have a right to speak like that, which is incredible, but they obviously do. But I think as a whole, as a sport, and a society, I think we all accept that speaking like that about anyone, but especially a sick kid, is unacceptable, and thankfully the response has been very strong from everyone involved.
And are you comfortable that this was a one-off, that these were a couple of idiots. I think everyone's has such admiration for the way you've gone about your job, your day job, and been at every game, been on the sideline. Like, for you personally, is there any part of you that dreads going to the next game, dreads going to the next away match?
No, because this country is supported by passionate football people. They're passionate about their club. They want their club to win and beat us, obviously, and that's brilliant. That's what sport's about. But they've never crossed the line ever. I've never heard it in this country, and Friday was the first time. It doesn't make you think about what I'm doing and make you think, is it worth doing it? Because young kids shouldn't be brought into it like this. It does make you think that. But I'm lucky that I have brilliant people around me and strong people, and you can't let people like them feel they can win and feel that they have won. So no, look, I look forward to the next game, and like I said, the amount of fans from other clubs all around the country that have reached out in support has been incredible, so thank you.
To talk about the football seems somewhat small in comparison, but there's a lot going on that side of things as well. It's been a difficult enough couple of weeks, back-to-back defeats, no shortage of controversy on the pitch on Friday night. Just on that, on the 3 red cards and the conversation that's been going on ever since about refereeing, and not just around the Shamrock Rovers Cork City game, but a lot of incidents. It does sound as though there's been a complete breakdown between officials, players, managers. What are your thoughts on it?
Yeah, it does feel like that at the moment. It feels like it's us and them, and I don't think that should be the case, we all have a role to play in that, to make that better, myself included, and I'm sure we can make it better. Look, I've said what I said about the decisions on Friday. I can't change anything now. We just have to accept it and move on, but we definitely need to improve the communication lines between all of us, players, management, officials, and like I said, we all have our part to play in that.
What is ideal communication? Should you be sitting talking to the referee before the match of what he wants? Does that happen? I think everyone would have views on managers' behaviour on the sideline, and different managers have different ways they want to approach. Some like to stand and maybe have a go at the forward officials. Some are jumping and roaring and shouting the whole time. And then what happens after the game and the explanation of decisions? Is any of that happening at the moment?
I don't think we should be sitting with referees before our games or after games. I think communication throughout the game, good communication, clear communication, is key. We had Neil Doyle as a fourth official a couple of weeks back in Tala, and it was a difficult game to referee, and the communication between all officials and both sets of staff was really good. You have to accept that people make wrong decisions. They're human. But when there's no lines of communication, that's when it becomes difficult to accept and understand. So I definitely think communication needs to be better.
What about your own team's performances then over the last couple of weeks? The defeats to Drogheda, the defeat to Cork. What's going on?
I think Drogheda, we were brilliant other than both boxes. We were sloppy, and for their goals they punished us. 2 good goals from them, and then in their box we 29 shots and score 1 goal. So but large parts of the performance was really, really good. So that was fine, and I think on Friday the game was taken away from us. I think we were very good with 11 men, 10, 9 men. I think we were very, very good. 8 men was just too much of a stretch for us. So I don't think there's much wrong. We've lost 2 games. It's not nice. We don't like that. But that's football. That's sport. And if you're not ruthless in both boxes and you're not on the finer detail, you can lose games. And we've lost 2 games, and you have to accept it and understand it quickly and move on quickly.
You had a run of red cards right at the start of the season as well. From the way you're talking about Friday night, do you have any concerns about discipline? No, I really don't. I think, and that's probably unusual to say, having had 3 sent off, but I think I've said what I said about the decisions, and I think this group are an experienced group that understand what each game demands and takes, and they get a feel for each game, and whether you can be more aggressive or not. You usually get that feeling very early in games off the referee and the officials. So no, I've no issue or worry about ourselves in terms of how we manage games and our discipline within them games.
like I said, just disappointed with what happened on Friday night.
Dundalk tomorrow night, back in Tala. Your home record, something understandably incredibly proud of over the last couple of years. No defeats last year, won the previous season, and that was probably built on an incredibly strong defence. I think it was 10 goals conceded at home in all of last season. It's 15 already this season. How much time are you spending thinking about that and the amount of goals that you're letting in?
Oh, you have to think about that. If you didn't think about that, you're being naive and foolish. You have to think about that. But it's not just our back three and our goalkeeper. We defend as a team, and when we concede goals, we concede as a team. And some of them have been unfortunate, but the large majority have been mistakes from us, and that's as a team. And like I said, we're not happy about that. We pride ourselves on being difficult to beat and being difficult to score against. And as a team, we've given up far too many chances and goals in Tala this season.
Have you changed anything tactically this season, off the back of winning a title, but also probably looking more at Europe and what you need to do as a group to succeed in Europe and to start winning games in a group stage of a Europa League or a Conference League? Have you changed things tactically that are leaving you more open and more exposed at the back?
We've done little tweaks here and there, but nothing that would make us give up the amount of goals we've given up. We know where we've gone wrong. We understand as a group, we need to put it right, because the way we play, the way we press, if we're not on it 100% when we lose the ball, you're going to get punished, and we haven't been on it 100%. So does
that worry you?
No, because I know these players do it. The large majority of the time, our record away from home is very good. Our record the last few years has been very good, but we can't accept that we've conceded 15 goals at home this year. That's on us, and we not, like I said, we understand where we've gone wrong in that regard, and we need to put it right.
What do you like when you get beaten at home? When you head home that evening, do you sit down and watch the game back straight away? Do you need to clear the head and figure out exactly what went wrong? Do you wait till you link up with your coaches? Are you on the phone all night to the coaches, identifying what the problems were?
No, we do have a coaches meeting after every game, and we'll discuss it, and then we'll go home and sleep, and then the next day watch the game and discuss it again, and see if the conclusions we came to after the game are still the same conclusions the next day, and if they are, you're usually not far off. So you just have to be careful after the game that emotion doesn't take over your decision making, and whether that's anger, frustration, or whatever you're feeling at that moment in time. So it's important to review it when you have a clear head, and like I said, I think we're pretty clear on what we need to improve, and I'm sure we will in the second part of the season.
There have been a couple of really strong individual performances so far this season. Neil Ferrugia was called into that Ireland squad that got to go into training camp over in the UK. He's a player who has shown promise for many years from his time at UCD. He's had some injury problems along the way. What are your thoughts on his progression so far this season?
He's been excellent. I think the coaching staff have done brilliant work with Neil behind the scenes over a period of time, and we're starting to see the fruits of that now. We started to see it at the back end of last season, and we're seeing him continue now. I think he's a player that has tremendous attributes, and if he stays focused and keeps working hard, which he will, he's a really good man and is focused, well then I think he can play and compete at any level.
The any level is always a concern for League of Ireland supporters when we see what happened last summer with Danny Mandreu going from Rovers and probably almost the best young player from every club ending up going over to Championship or League One. Are you confident of being able to keep Ferrugia this summer?
It's impossible to say. I think football now, the football world, every club in the world is a selling club, every club, so we're no different to that. Do we want to sell Neil? Of course we don't. We love him. We think he's a big part of what we're going to do. We think there's more development and growth to come from here. But like I said, it'd be foolish to sit here and say we won't sell any player, and then you get a bid that as a club we feel is too good to turn down for any player. So like I said, if you have Manchester United and Manchester City and Real Madrid that can sell players, we're no different. So like I said, we don't want to sell him. We don't want to sell any players, but it'd be foolish to sit here and say we won't sell a player in the summer.
You didn't sell Jack Byrne. He stayed. I was somewhat surprised to see that he wasn't in that Ireland squad as well, considering it feels as though he's arguably playing better now than the last time he was in there. Is that down to just pure fitness, that the injuries that have dogged him over the last couple of years are gone, or is there something else that's been going on behind the scenes in terms of attitude, in terms of application?
No, I think you've hit the nail on the head with Jack. I think when he went to Cyprus, he obviously had a major back operation, and when he came back here, we knew that was still niggling and was affecting other parts of his body. And Jack's game is all about twisting and turning and being explosive over 5 and 10 yards, and he couldn't do that, to be fair to him, last year. He tried, and we tried to get him through it, but he couldn't do it. This year you're seeing Jack Byrne with a freedom in terms of his body's allowing him to play. He's the fittest he's been, I feel, since the first time we had him, and he's been outstanding so far this year. So if he keeps playing like that, I don't think the Ireland squads are too far away from him.
I just saw himself and Stephen McPhail walking down together a few minutes ago. If you had to have one or Byrne or McPhail in your midfield, who are you going for?
I'm going for Glenn Cronin. Glenn smashed the both of them.
That's what you're looking for. Too much technical ability with those guys.
Yeah, none of them would run. At least Glenn would be okay. Look, Stephen, fantastic player, but Jack is right on at the moment.
Yeah. Well, listen, best of luck over the next few games.
Yes, thank you.